Welcome to all our viewers around the world. I'm Charles Sciangula, and I'm your host for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great lineup for you tonight. We have a very talented singer-songwriter by the name of Miss Tanya E. She will be performing several songs for us right here in our studios tonight. And from Toronto, Mr. Giuseppe the MC, funny comedian. Wait till you see his hairdo, you're going to love it. He is here with us tonight. And we also have Mr. Carmelo Tortolano, who is organizing another fundraiser for autism. He is here with us tonight. And we have our very proud sponsor, Mr. Gaetano Orsina from Mud de Vie. He will be here with us tonight, and we're going to be talking about special subjects such as autism. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back and we'll be back.
The Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show is brought to you by the following sponsors: Mercedes-Benz Montréal-Est, Les Délices Lafrenière, Assistance Ticket, Tyron Renovations, and SME Sécurité.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have this very funny man with us in the house. He's from Toronto. I want to introduce this particular gentleman personally because I think he's a fine gentleman. He's a good man. And I would like to introduce everybody to this funny comedian from Toronto. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up, Mr. Giuseppe the MC. Come on in, Giuseppe. Welcome, Giuseppe.
Hello.
There we go. We finally got you. How was your trip from Toronto to Montreal?
It was fantastic. It was very good. There was a few less people on the plane.
Okay.
They had to balance the weight. I'm glad they didn't choose me. I would have been offended, but I was...
I love your hairdo. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Giuseppe MC to the world tonight because this is going to go viral. And for everybody out there, especially in Italy, because we got a lot of viewers out there, he's from Calabria. He's a true Calabrese, as you will get to know him, and you can't get better attention than this type of hairdo because this is what dropped my attention, and this is why I really enjoy because he's not only being talented, he's got a great hairdo.
I find that I'm first a comedian, then the hair. But I figure if people don't like the hair, they'll if they don't like the comedy, they'll go for the hair.
Joe, when I saw you on stage at Leonardo da Vinci, you had a great show, but I got to tell you, you stood out, and I love it. So keep on doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Joe, welcome to Montreal, by the way. Okay, and I understand that you're going to be performing this weekend. So to everybody out there in the 514-450 region, he's going to be performing. Tell us what you're going to be doing.
So this Saturday is the 16th Italian Bad Boys of Comedy.
Okay.
It's called the Toronto Invasion, this particular show. It's myself, Lo Siciliano Raggiato, and Frank Spadone. He'll be the headliner. And, of course, Montreal's own Joe Cacchione, hosted by Cousin Vinny.
Right. So Joe Cacchione was with us on our last episode. Let me ask you. You're from Toronto.
Yep.
You're of Italian origin.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest difference when it comes to comedy between Montreal and Toronto?
Well,
if there is.
There's a huge difference. First off, the Italian community in Montreal is much stronger. With all due respect to
your friends in Toronto,
my friends
yes,
and my
yes,
peers
yes,
in Toronto,
yes.
I find that the Italians in Montreal are a little bit more united. They're a bit
tighter.
They'll jump quicker to support the Italian community in their performances and stuff like that. And every time I'm here, I feel more Italian.
Okay, so we haven't lost l'italianità, as we would say, correct?
Yeah.
There we go. You know, I saw your show at LDV, and I was very impressed with your material.
Thank you.
Clean humor, and what I really enjoyed was that you've brought a certain different spin to comedy because, there's a lot of the different comedians doing a similar type, venues and events at the same time. But I liked the humor that you brought because it was a little different. And when you learn to do that's a pretty interesting perspective when it comes to comedy. And this weekend, is there any particular theme as to the Italian Bad Boys of comedy?
Well, I always tend to reflect on two subjects a lot.
Okay.
I tend to reflect on the Italian community versus, let's say, the Canadian. We don't use certain
Culture?
terms, culture, yeah, but
Yes,
Canadian
yes.
culture, they're fantastic people, but
Yes,
there's
yes.
very strong differences between the Italian culture and that.
Well, yeah.
And of course, I always reflect upon my mom, my mother.
She had a big influence in your
huge.
in
My
your
parents,
comedy,
both of my
obviously,
parents,
yes.
but my mother. I am the typical mama's boy. I'll admit it, 100%. And still to this day, I'm married. I'll be married almost 14 years. So I'm married
Congratulations.
14 years in January, and she's still very
tight
on the. She calls me. She's.
What does your
concerned a
wife
lot.
say? What does your wife say, Giuseppe?
My wife my wife loves my mother a lot.
Okay.
But
They have some differences on
she
occasions. She has different ways.
my mother has no differences with my wife. She just tells my wife what to do. So
that's all.
That's
That's all she can do. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a good relationship.
exactly. So my
Yes.
comedy I tell stories about my mom, but they're not stories that are any different than the experiences that other kids had with their mothers.
Correct.
I just found a way to relay it, and I like to be animated on stage. I find that when I'm animated,
Absolutely.
I want to paint a picture on stage without even saying a word. Sometimes I want people to enjoy, because there are people that come out to these shows that are not Italian. I still want them to get the grasp of what's going on. And as you said earlier, clean comedy. I'm adamant never to swear on stage. Because I believe that my mother's in the audience, and I believe
Absolutely.
that my children are in the audience. So I try to keep a very clean perspective of performance.
When I saw your performance, all four comedians that were there, including Joe Vatti,
Yes, of
Grasso,
course.
yourself, I was very entertained due to the fact that there was not a swear word, and I truly enjoy that. And you found a good spin. Now, as far as the comedy is concerned, when did you decide, where you said you spoke to your wife, to your mom, he says, I want to be a comedian? When did the flip happen?
Okay, so if we want to go far back, so I'll admit my.
We've got a 6-minute segment, so we got another 2-3 minutes before the break. So
no
go ahead.
problem. So
Go
back in
ahead.
high school,
Okay.
I somehow became the president of the student council, and so I ended up on stage often and performing. We had little skits.
Well, why don't we do something?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to hear everything, all right?
Sure.
We're going to go to a commercial break.
Sure.
And we're going to go to a song by this fine lady who will be on the show, and we'll interview Miss Tanya, Tanya E. She goes by Tanya E. And you're going to hear some of the songs that were recorded live over here. And at the same time, you're going to be hearing some of the videos. So we're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to go to Tanya, and then we're going to come back. How's that?
Fantastic.
Sounds like a plan. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. Thank you very much.
You forgot that I was there. You barely ever heard my voice. I may have ended it myself, but I didn't really have a choice. You're still oblivious to all the wreckage I have to rummage through. I take care to cover up every one of the scars left by you. Felt you pull away, never knew what to say. You talked the greatest game, never knew what to believe. Said you loved me all the time, but often took me for granted. Never bothered when I warned you I'd leave. You forgot that I was there. You barely ever heard my voice. I may have ended it myself, but I didn't really have a choice. You're still oblivious to all Yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live for Live Entertainment Talk Show, and we're back with Giuseppe, the MC. And by the way, you just heard Miss Tanya E. The name of the song, Wreckage. That's one of her original songs. Beautiful ballad, excellent rhythm. She will be with us later, so hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, back to you. I'm interested in hearing what you were talking about over here before our break.
Yeah, so I from high school, I was president of my school.
Right.
I was always on stage performing. You know, we used to have these assemblies, and I said, let me use comedy in order to get everybody's attention. High school finished. I thought my life was over. But
Did you graduate?
I did graduate.
Okay,
I graduated valedictorian, actually, if you're wondering. And while I was in school, university, and so on and so forth, I befriended some people who did fashion shows for children actually with disabilities. So they always needed an MC. I said, I'll volunteer my time. I said, as long as I get to do a few minutes on stage. And those few minutes turned into a few more minutes, and then I started getting called a lot to emceeing events. About a decade ago, my sister-in-law got married. That's my wife's sister, and she asked me to MC the wedding.
Okay.
So somehow in my brain, that turned into the Giuseppe show with a couple that happened to be getting married. And I wrote a opening monologue. I wrote skits in between the meals. And I made a big show of it. But I thought it was just a one-time deal for my sister-in-law, and that's it. Well, somebody at the wedding asked me to MC their kid's wedding, and then so on and so forth. And it turned into...
It's a snowball effect.
And then I created Giuseppe the MC. I said, okay, I'm going to start a little business here, and so on and so forth. When my sister got married, I had a lot of family come from Italy. And I said, I'm going to do a speech. It's going to be about my mother, how much she loves my new brother-in-law more than she loves me.
Okay.
And I did the whole speech in Calabrese, 25 minutes straight. And that's when it was a trigger to me that I want to do shows. A few months later, woke up one morning. I said, I think I really want to do a show. I started looking up venues within a half an hour of this thought. I found the venue in Toronto. I said, I'm going to rent it. I'm going to sell tickets. I only needed 100 tickets sold to pay it off. That's what I would have been happy with that. I just wanted to do a show. Somehow I sold 800 tickets.
Oh.
Yeah. It ended up being 2 nights, so 400 and 400. And the whole show was about my mother. After the second
So your mom's pretty popular. I guess,
Oh, yeah. She's very popular.
Okay.
After that second show, I handed in my resignation 2 weeks later. And then I discovered social media.
That's right.
And social media is what put me all over the world.
Absolutely.
As I started making videos about my mom, wearing a wig and doing skits, all in Calabrese with subtitles.
Yes, I saw it on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. And those reached very far.
Fantastic.
And
fantastic.
I said, you know what? I'm going to put a show together and put a tour together. And I toured. I was able to go to Australia and the U.S., Canada, of course. And
God bless.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Joe, with the events that are going on in the world, political correctness. What's your take on all of this, especially with comedy, with what's going on in the United States? How do you where do you draw the line, and what's your take? What's your spin on all of this?
So, it's not that I choose to be politically correct. I just choose not to go in that direction ever in the first place. It's just never been my style of comedy.
Okay.
I'm not making fun of my mother. I'm telling factual stories.
Correct.
Word for word. There's nothing to be politically
that's
correct
why
about.
that's why people embrace that, because you're talking about the real stuff. It's
Right,
obviously,
right.
It's a true life experience.
Right. But in terms of for other comedians who I revere very much, and I watch a lot of comedians and their styles, and you learn from everyone. Some people go in that direction.
Correct.
And it's challenging when there's a lot more. They say, especially in the U.S., there's like freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't offend anybody.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So, I try my best not to offend anybody. I make fun of, let's say, other cultures, but I make fun of the Italians first
Absolutely.
and harder before I make fun of
Well,
them.
we got to learn to laugh a little bit about
Exactly.
ourselves, and you
Yeah.
know, give some, you take some. And I think that's just part of how it works.
At the end of the day, comedy is actually an escape for people. They want to come, they want to enjoy, they want
Absolutely.
to watch. They don't want to feel uncomfortable in their seats. If I've made somebody feel uncomfortable, I haven't done my job. My job is for me to take them out of their uncomforting zone somewhere else and have them enjoy themselves.
You mentioned social media. Now,
Yes.
you know, I love comedy. I see what's coming out of the comedian mindset,
Yep.
okay, whether it's Montreal, Toronto, and I see a lot of talent that, because of social media, probably never could have been showcased. Now, social media, how far do you take the social media perspective as far as marketing yourself? Do you look at it where whatever you do on social media, you will like extrapolate it and then showcase it in a show, or do you do whatever you do on social media, you keep it there and you'll do something different in a show?
I do exactly what you just said there. So social media, I make little clips.
Right.
I create awareness about this guy,
Right.
Giuseppe the MC. Who is this guy? We got to go see him. My show material is completely different from online. Because if I
Fantastic.
do what I do online on the
Absolutely.
stage, people say, I saw this already.
That's right.
You know, people are paying good dollar to come watch a show, so I try to give them an experience completely different from social media. Social media also is short, quick, 1 minute. You have their attention.
That's right.
People are flipping through their phones. The stage, you have them for an hour or 15
That's
minutes
right.
or 20, whatever your set is. You have to elongate the story. You have to make
Exactly.
it more. Social media, again, one more thing, is more for, respectfully, a younger audience, because they're on the Instagram a bit more, where the stage shows are more for a mixture of audience. I embrace it, and I tell everyone, please bring your parents, bring your nonni.
There you go.
Right?
That's fantastic.
So you can't do stuff that you do on social media for them. They
Correct.
just won't get it, right?
Now, you're going forwards. You mentioned that you're. What's in store for you going into the 2019 season?
So there's actually a lot of incredible things going on for 2019.
Tell the world what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, now's the time to listen to Joe.
So I'm very excited.
Giuseppe, sorry, he told me not to call
Yeah,
him.
that's
Giuseppe, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There you go.
So I'm
Forgive
actually
me.
very excited about 2019. I'm kicking off in February. I'm producing a comedy show that I'm not the headliner for once. I've never done that before.
Okay.
And I'm bringing Sushi Mango from Australia. These gentlemen who are an absolute sensation, incredible on stage, incredible on social media. And they just finished 50 shows in Australia over the past few months. And I said, they have to come to Canada. And we've become good friends. And I'm bringing them. We're performing in Vancouver, February 3rd, February 8th in Toronto, and February 10th in Montreal.
Fantastic. So maybe we can have him here on one of the shows, and maybe we can do a little stunt with them. What do you say?
If the schedule permits it, by all means, I'd love for them to be on the show.
Well, that's a very interesting. And what is their what kind of show? What's their take? Is it
So they play. They are ethnic moms, ethnic dads.
Italians or
they play Italian, but again, because it's more ethnic. Any community, whether it's Greeks,
Okay.
Portuguese, they can come. You know, it's that more that European feel. They get their comedy, which is fantastic. They're exciting and they're fun and they're funny and they're great.
Fantastic.
Great bunch of guys.
So we'll have them here. You're going to bring him here, right?
That's right. I
Okay.
will.
Schedule permitting.
Schedule permitting, they'll be on the show.
You're
100%.
on. You're on. Fantastic.
And so then we have, I'm going to Australia to co-headline a tour with Guido Grasso.
Okay.
Brought to the world by Joe Vadi. He's
Joe
bringing
Vadi,
us. He's bringing us there, which is fantastic. We're doing a whole bunch of cities that I haven't performed in when I was in Australia in the past, and there is a comedian out in New York called Uncle Vinny.
That's right.
His real name is Anthony Rodia, but he goes by Uncle Vinny. We're producing a show with him in April. And then, if I'm lucky enough to have it set up by September, which I believe it will be, Montreal's own Nick Messina,
Oh,
Siciliano
yes.
de Montreal,
Yes, yes.
he will be headlining his show, which I'll be producing. And all these shows, I get to MC the show as well and produce. And I'm
So you
really
like the
excited about it.
production perspective as well, from what I got.
Oh,
right?
I love it. I love it.
You create.
I
yeah.
love getting people to a show. The easiest part is the performance, believe it or not.
Fantastic.
It's getting people to the show and the mindset. And
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody wants to go see a great act this weekend. Where's the location? Where is it at?
So it's going to be at Centreville.
Right?
I
Downtown?
believe the street used to be called University, but now it's Robert Barassa, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Or the other way around.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yes.
That's going to be there. It's a dinner and show.
Okay.
Again, the lineup is myself, Joe Cacchione, Luciciliano Reggiato, and Frank Spadone is the headliner. And Cousin Vinny is the MC of the night.
Fantastic.
Brought to you by VMG Entertainment, Ralph Bottino.
Ralph Bottino.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We got some great comedians from Toronto invading Montreal, so you could stay here if you want. It's okay.
I love it here.
We won't let you go back. We have a fine lady we want to introduce to you, and we're going to go to a commercial break. She's going to sing the next song, and I'd like everybody to hold back because right after this, we're going to bring her on stage. Are you going to stay here or do you have to leave?
No, I can sit down.
Fantastic. So maybe you can ask a few questions to Tanya as well. How's that? I love it. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. Thank you very much.
Show me how you dance, baby. Shake it all around. Show me you got rhythm, sugar. Show me you can get down. I can tell a whole lot from the way you move. Drop it just like it's hot, baby. Show me how you groove. Now if you pass that test and prove you've got mad style, I'll let you snuggle with me for a while, and you can lay it on me till you make me smile. Sugar, you better hold on tight. Hold on tight. I like a man in control, who's got a whole lot of soul. A man who knows what he wants, baby, who can't be but a soul. You know mama don't play, and I can go all day. I know you wanna be my lover, sugar, but you got dues to pay. Now if you pass that test and prove you got mad style, I'll let you snuggle with me for a while, and you can lay it on me till you make me smile. Sugar, you better hold on tight. Hold on tight. Show me how you dance, baby. Shake it all around. Show me you got rhythm, sugar. Show me you can get down. You mama don't play. Ooh, and I can go all day. I know you wanna be my lover, sugar, and you got dues to pay. Now if you pass that test and prove you've got mad style, I'll let you snuggle with me for a while, and you can lay it on me till you make me smile. Sugar, you better hold on tight. on tight.
Welcome back to all our viewers around the world. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great lineup for you. Of course, we have Mr. Giuseppe, the MC from Toronto. And I'd like to introduce a very, very special lady. She's talented. She writes her own songs. She produces her own songs. And she's with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to the world Miss Tanya E. Tanya, come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Miss Tanya E. Tanya, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure for all of us to have you here with us in the house.
Thanks
and
a lot.
we have Mr. Giuseppe, the MC. So if you ever go to Toronto,
It's all about the hair, baby.
you see, he's the man that you want to see when you're in Toronto. He's a good man.
Okay,
So
never mind.
at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tanya E., we just played the song. What's the name of that second song we
Hold
just
On
played?
Tight.
Hold On Tight. That's an R&B song, right?
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. I'm very impressed with your material.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
you write and your own material.
Yes.
That's very, very interesting. You have a totally different style. Who would you like to compare yourself to if you had to?
I don't know about comparing myself to anybody because that's really dangerous.
'Kay.
But in terms of influences, I've got all the greats like James Brown and Aretha Franklin. I love Billie Holiday, so
That's
jazz.
great.
And
Great artists.
Lauryn Hill
absolutely.
is really great too. And
Fantastic. Now, Tanya, I noticed I was reading a little bit your biography. You've been through some, challenging times, and now you're coming out, and you really want to take it a little more serious, I guess, because you're going to have an album that you're going to be launching very soon, correct?
yes, that's exactly right. On November 25th.
Tell everybody, to all the world now, she's launching a beautiful CD. I've listened to some of her songs. Very original, very interesting material. Go ahead.
I'm really excited about it. We're actually going to have a launch party on the 25th of November at the Rosewood, which is in
Correct.
the Old Port.
Old Port.
60 Saint Jacques. We're starting at 8 p.m. It's only $10 to get in. Hope you guys will come out. And I'm really excited about this. After the stuff that happened in 2014, I basically used writing as
Your inspiration,
catharsis,
basically.
essentially.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it was kind of like a way to heal, you know?
Fantastic. Now, did you the new stuff that you just showed us? Okay, did you have any other material that you had produced previously or that you had recorded?
Technically, yes, but it's not considered. It's more of a demo, really.
Okay,
So
right.
I don't really have all that much studio experience, and my producer and the arranger of the music itself, just because I don't play any instruments well enough to accompany myself,
Right.
had to basically structure the songs. I had had extra parts to certain ones, and they just made it, sort of a cohesive
Correct.
unit, basically.
Now, have you ever played in a band, or is this something that you've done solos?
Actually, no. I've played in bands since. I'm not gonna say since because we don't need to talk
We don't
about
want to tell
that.
everybody out there. That's okay.
But yeah, I've done I don't know. I'd say probably by now about 250 shows at most. So by far and away, I'm considered a rookie compared to
right.
my musician buddies because they play 5-6 nights a week actually. And I do have a band that I play with on a regular basis around town. Actually, we play in the pubs downtown in the West Island.
Fantastic.
And I sing in a duo as well. So the bars are nice enough to hire us, and they pay us pretty well, and they're really sweet to us. And I get to sing and do what I love. It's kind of an awesome job.
What do you do full time?
So I have 4 jobs.
That's all?
Yeah, but they're all part time really. So the one I've been doing for the longest is massage therapy. And the singing is the one I love the most.
Okay, great.
I'm also technically a housekeeper, and my grandmother's a nurse.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So now going forwards, after this, your launch on the 25th, what are your aspirations? Where do you think you would like to be within the next year,
Aspirations.
if any?
That is a very good question.
There we go.
Well, I wouldn't mind Italy calling me. Go and maybe sing a little bit over there. Ciao a tutti.
Our stream is going to get to Italy, so I just thought I'd let you know. We have
That's
about
wonderful.
700, 800 viewers in Italy, so you never know. By the way, in all our Italian friends, questa signorina parla anche italiano, non c'è problema. E potrei anche cantare in italiano.
È vero, Campobassano. Ma il dialetto lo conosco meglio perché lo parlo di più, però sono stata per 2 mesi l'anno scorso e adesso parlo meglio.
Ah, sei stato in Italia 2 mesi
Sì,
fa?
sì,
Oh,
sì,
nice,
sì.
nice. You see, the beauty of the internet is that we're not controlled by the CRTC or the language. We can talk whichever language we
Oh,
prefer to,
nice.
so there you go.
Allora, se posso dire qualcosa?
Assolutamente, a
Grazie.
tutti i telespettatori che vediamo per tutto il mondo, Tanya ti vuole dire qualche cosa?
Ciao in Italia, se ormai volete che vengo a cantare lì, chiamatemi.
Sì,
Ciao.
sì.
Vengo subito.
So, have you
Mi
ever
piace tanto l'Italia.
did you do any songs? Have you performed Italian songs? Have you recorded any Italian songs?
No, I haven't recorded any yet.
Okay.
I was actually going to start working on, getting more followers on my Instagram, but I was going to start doing little videos in English and in French and Italian, hoping that people will actually help me with the writing.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't think in Italian. I wish I did, but I don't. So in terms of la poesia in italiano,
That's right.
sarebbe meglio.
Hold on to that thought.
Sì.
We're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to go to another song from Miss Tanya, because now you know who it is. Great song. Take a listen. We're going to go to some of our commercial sponsors. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, and we'll be back.
Such deceit, you duplicities can. So glad to be rid of you, yeah. You're the worst I ever had. Your passive abuse I could no longer allow, and I know so well that I'm better off now. Ooh, those were the longest years of my life. Your time's run out, my eyes are open. I need a warm to let me frozen. I can't be yours, 'cause you're not worthy. I won't condone how you hurt me stronger than you think. Sick of being lied to. Now I won't be misled. You were a form of torture, and I loved you till I bled. You'd stolen my heart, you crooked little dumpy. But now I'm done with you, baby. What a relief. Those were the longest years of my life. Your time's run out, my eyes are open. deception, so ruled by foolish love. Now I can make a clean break, boy. You know I've had enough. You tried to break me with put downs. You brought me to the brink. Manipulation won't work here, so I'm stronger than you be. Oh, my time's run out.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to do the Sponsor of the Week segment. And tonight we have Sponsor of the Week, Mr. Mercedes-Benz Montréal Est, Phil Salvatore. He's Mr. Mercedes. If you're looking for some consultation and buying your dream car, Mr. Phil Salvatore is the man you want to see. He's always available, and they're out in the East End in Pointe aux Trembles, Mr. Phil Salvatore. And if you want to go for some croissants, you have, of course, Les Délices La Frenée. They serve them, by the way. So we got Pepe and Joseph Ruvo. Great family, great operation with multiple locations, the best cake artistry in the city. They'll build you a house in suites. So, ladies and gentlemen, Les Délices La Frenée out in the East End. And we also have Mr. Angelo Waragna from Tyron Construction. He's the man. If you're looking for professionalism, true to the word, he's got tons of experience in building apartment buildings, condos, homes, commercial buildings. Mr. Angelo Waragna, he's the man. And we also have Taxi Assistance, Miss Sandra Tagliapietra. She's the lady for legal counsel for all your tickets. If you're looking for wanting to contest them, Miss Sandra Tagliapietra will, for a very minimal fee over the phone or online, she'd be more than glad to assist you. Very, very fine lady. She's a true professional. And obviously, for legal counsel, she's the lady you want to go to. And we have SMI Security Systems. That you want to look for the latest security applications for home integration, alarms, cameras, access cards. SMI Security Systems is the company for before, during, and after sales service. That's the company, SMI Security Systems. So thank you very much to all our sponsors once more, and we'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show, and we've got Miss Tanya E. And Tanya, going forwards, you're discussing now in the break that maybe you would like to start writing some different material going forwards.
Yes, that's exactly right. At the moment, I'm actually collaborating with a couple of my old bandmates.
Okay.
For a blues album, actually, is what we're writing at the moment, and I'm really excited about that because there are lots of blues festivals, especially here in Quebec. The idea is really to tour as much as possible, if possible, here's hoping. And the main dream, the big dream, is to actually be a writer for others.
Fantastic.
I write songs very, very often and regularly, so there's a lot of material I wouldn't even use for myself, but it might work for somebody else.
I noticed some of your songs, you wrote all the songs,
I
right?
wrote all the lyrics, absolutely. The melodies as well, except that, like I said, there was a piano player, an extraordinary one, who basically put the songs together in a cohesive way.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where did you get were your parents great writers? Where did you get this gift?
My mom's a lovely singer.
Okay.
She sang in a choir for a while, and basically, they're not necessarily all that musical, but they do appreciate music, which is nice. And I couldn't get enough of the R&B singers
Right.
back in the day.
Right.
Everybody was listening to I don't know, dance music in the 90s. And I was listening to Aretha Franklin and Billie Holiday. So
That's special, sure.
yeah, it's
When did you know
something
you
that's
had a
kind
writing
of,
talent?
it's like required for me. I didn't really have all that much to say, to be honest with you, until a few years back when a whole bunch of stuff happened to me. I think an improved vocabulary over the years, as well as more life experiences,
Right.
certainly attribute to being able to write something I find worthwhile. I read some of my old lyrics in those lyric books that you keep. I mean, that's the way I used to write. and there's so much fluff and garbage in there. I'm just like, wow, that's not good at all. so now, you know, you want to be conscientious about what you say and
You want to be politically
how
correct.
you say it.
You want to be politically
well,
correct.
there's that too, of course. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of songs that have sexy type lyrics that
That's
it's
interesting, sure.
what it is basically honest. That's what I'm going for. And I'm definitely honest in that respect. A lot of people say that it sounds like I've written out of the pages of my diary. They're probably kind of right about that. And if you read the inside of the jacket of the CD I actually produced, it really is
Maybe Giuseppe would like to ask you something.
intense.
So no, actually, I just wanted to make a comment on that. Is that
Sure.
you know, and so musicians, comedians, those who, you know, I was mentioning earlier how I tell real stories. It comes out a lot easier when you're telling the truth. To be honest, when you make something up, you got to go back and say, you know, what did I say there? But when you're saying the truth and you're singing the truth.
People feel it. People
and
feel
they
the
can
energy.
feel the emotion,
Yeah,
and
that's
you
right.
know, I bet, you know, if some songs you wrote out of sadness, let's say for instance, every time you sing the song, you're a little sad, and it comes out that way. But it, you know, it's true feeling, and I appreciate that a lot about that, and it's great. It's great to hear that you're not just focused on one genre, like you know, you
Aspect,
want to
yeah.
move into blues, which is incredible. Obviously, it's. That's a classic.
love that
It's not
stuff.
going anywhere, right? So
No,
it's
that's
fantastic.
for sure. Thanks
It's
a lot.
good.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you, I listened to some of your songs, and you've got good range. You've got some good ballads. You got some R&B. You got some soul funk. So you're across the board, and you do
Aw.
it well. Well, what I like is you've got a different style. It's not your typical overpowering, like, you know, operatic, whatever, or strong choir gospel. You've got that inspiration where you've got a little bit of everything, you know, high range, low range, mid range. So you're a little bit everywhere. That's very
Well,
interesting.
thank you so much. That's
This
so
is
nice
why
of
we
you.
have you on the show. So like that, this shows we want to showcase all local, national, international talent.
I love that.
So this is what we're all about. We've got this fine gentleman over here, very talented. He's a comedian from Toronto and Montreal, and we're going to showcase him again all over the world.
I love
And the
that.
same thing with you.
Thank you so much.
That sounds like
Wonderful.
a plan, don't you think so?
It really, really does.
There
Let's
you go.
do it.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to go to another commercial break. So for everybody out there, just sit back and we'll be back. Once more, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And on our last segment, we've got Giuseppe the MC and Tanya E. Giuseppe, before we leave, what do you want to tell and share something with the people out there?
So other than the shows that I do, I
Right.
have a few other exciting things that are going on in my life right now. Every Tuesday night on Instagram, live on my Instagram, I have a game show.
Fantastic.
It's called Tuesday Night Game Night with Giuseppe the MC. Everybody who's watching is participating, and there's prizes at the end, which is great. I have a new podcast that's coming out in the next few weeks called The Talktail Hour. It's a combo of talk and cocktails, so Talktail Hour, which is great. I'm interviewing incredible stars so far in Toronto and Montreal. We have a few people lined up for the show, which is fantastic. And that's it. If you want to research me, it's Giuseppe the MC, all on my social media, website Giuseppe the MC. I have a t-shirt brand that came out recently that it's called 3 Dots by G that are, there's 3 dots on a shirt and people can design whatever they want on it. They let me know and I design it for them. A lot of great things.
Good stuff.
So so just go to GiuseppeTheMC.com and you'll find it all.
Fantastic. Tanya, how about you?
Wow, that was really awesome. So I've got a website, and my music is available online. You can buy the entire album for $8.99 actually on iTunes or on my website itself with PayPal. So it's tanyaemusic.com. So TANYAE music.com. And it's essentially the same for liking my Facebook page, for example. I would love a bunch more YouTube subscribers, if possible. That would be great. Everything is linked to my website. So all of the links for Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff, YouTube is all on there. But Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all at Tanya E Music. So please follow, like, do all that good stuff, because the more you guys do that for me, the more the festival bookers actually notice us.
Fantastic. They notice. Great. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Giuseppe the MC and Miss Tanya E. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll be back with some more guests on our show. Thank you.
Thanks, Tanya.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to all our viewers around the world. Tonight, we've got a special guest, once again, a good friend of many years who is very committed to different causes. We have him here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mr. Carmelo Tortolano. Welcome again, Carmelo. Thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. We always have an interesting conversation.
It's a pleasure.
Because you're up to I always say you're always up to something. You're up to a cure or some sort of a fundraiser at one point or another every week. So here we are.
Well, we're here now because we were promoting the bowling event, but the bowling event, I'm happy to say that we're actually sold out.
Fantastic. That's beautiful.
11 days before the deadline date.
The actual deadline date. So
there might be a few spots left here and there, little spots, so people who still want to see if they can plug.
The date is November 17th, right?
The date is November 17th, but not meaning the fact that we're sold out doesn't mean that you can't come. You can still come, have a drink,
and you can even donate
and still make a donation.
Fantastic. So to all you people out there, ladies and gentlemen, there's a beautiful cause, November 17th. It's a bowling disco event.
Yeah.
And you're raising funds for
autism.
Autism. So, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's sold out, you can donate. You can attend the event. Go for a drink.
Come for a drink. There's going to be a pizza. There's going to be cakes. We're going to have.
You could throw a few bowling balls on the. Or is it all sold out as well?
The bowling ball is unfortunately sold out. But you can still come and enjoy the evening.
There we go. So, question. Now at this point, you also mentioned that you're going to be doing some sort of a Christmas basket fund.
We have a.
This guy's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. You got to give it to Carmelo. So to everybody out there, he's the man. Go ahead.
Well, for the Christmas baskets, I was blessed enough to get 5 or 6 companies to sponsor products, and we're gonna be doing on the 14th of November at Galileo. We're gonna have the students of Galileo put the baskets together. So when the baskets are all done, we're gonna sell them, and whatever money we raise, we're gonna give back to the two schools. Galileo and also Giant Steps, because Giant Steps is also involved. They're also going to put baskets together for us.
Fantastic.
We're going to have E.C. Marial, who's going to be on hand
at the event.
Filming.
Great. That's very, very noble of them as well to support you in your cause. Now, as far as, let's say that you have this event, the 17th, you have the Christmas basket. Now, anything else before Christmas that we should know of?
Well, we have the Emless card, which is a card that has about 150 partners on it.
Okay.
Too many to mention.
Okay.
But if you go on myemless.com, you can see all the partners that are involved with the card.
By the way, that's the card that you see behind us.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
there it is. And where could people get more information on this?
They
Carmelo?
can call our info number is 514-322-1030. There's 4 extensions to help you there. And
Can you repeat that?
yeah,
Jesse, you have this on a caption. Okay, 514.
yeah, 322-1030.
That'll appear on your screen right now. So if you have any questions, obviously, now's the man. Carmelo's the man you want to call, and there's the phone number. Now, Carmelo, this particular event on the 17th. Okay, where's the location?
It's on L'Assomption, and it's on L'Assomption and Sherbrooke. If you're coming with the public transport, you can get off at Metro L'Assomption.
Okay.
And the minute you get out, 10 steps to your right, and the bowling alley's right there.
And even if I don't know how to bowl, what am I going to do? I just come there, have a drink. We can
Have a drink, we'll chat, we'll listen to the music. You can have some pizza, you can have some cake.
fantastic. Well, Carmelo, I'm very, very impressed with your commitment to different causes, and to all you viewers out there. As you can see, Carmelo on social media has proven to be a very, very interesting man. And whatever events he does promote, please support for great causes, ladies and gentlemen. And we'd love everybody as much as we can on the 17th. If you want to donate, dial that phone number, go see him. And whether it is $20, $30, you got a tax receipt for this, or is it just a donation?
Yeah, there's a donation, but there's a tax receipt for
As
those
well.
who want. Yeah.
Okay, so for all you viewers out there, ladies and gentlemen, Carmelo will be there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't met him and you want to shake his hand, he will be there. And I'm sure if you have any other questions, as far as maybe you're looking for any volunteers to help you out in your different fundraisers.
Volunteers are always welcome. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's some people out there that maybe, they've probably thought about it. They didn't know how to get in touch with you. So if they come and see you at the bowling
Come and see
alley,
me at the bowling alley on
There
the
we go.
17th of November.
you never have enough volunteers.
No.
Take my word for it. Am I correct in saying that, Carmelo?
That's definite. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you have a team right now, if I understand correctly?
Yeah, we do have a team. Yes, I have one a good friend and sponsor, Gaetano Orsina from Mode de Vie.
Okay, and he'll be our guest right after you.
Yeah, excellent, wonderful human being. Him and his wife, fantastic people.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it from Carmelo Tortolano himself. I want to thank everybody that's involved in this particular cause on the 17th, and for those Christmas baskets as well. Okay.
Christmas baskets are going to be available as of December 1st.
There we go. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, on the 17th. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Carmelo, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, and hope to see you again very soon, of course. So to everybody out there, we'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles Sciangula for the Live4Live Entertainment Talk Show. And tonight we have a special guest, Mr. Gaetano Orsina from the company Mode de Vie. Mr. Orsina is involved in different causes, and one of them is autism. And he's also a sponsor for the bowling fundraiser, which is going to be on November 17th, a proud sponsor, of course. And tonight we have him as a guest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Mr. Gaetano Orsino, please. Welcome, Gaetano. Thank you for coming. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you. You've been on our show, and I want you to know you're always welcome over here, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And
My pleasure being here.
And I got to meet your wife tonight. She's here in the audience, and we hope to have her probably sitting next to you on one of our next
Hopefully
segments.
we
convince
them
them.
next time.
And we can do it in French, by the way, miss. Don't worry about it.
Maybe that grappa bottle that you talked about the last time. Maybe that will work.
We're going to have an audience here soon. Gaetano, I want to, on behalf of Carmelo Tortolano as well, want to thank you for your sponsorship that you're helping out, obviously, the cancer fundraiser, the autism fundraiser now, on the 17th,
That's right.
the bowling event. And question to you, I understand you're leaving for Europe, though, soon. Where are you going to be?
I haven't booked it yet.
Oh, you haven't booked?
It's around the 21st of November.
Okay.
Basically, I got to go there for work.
Next time, we'll make sure you will do it before the 21st.
But you blink, I'll be back. Though. I'll be back
Okay,
on the 21st.
fantastic. Gaetano, I understand you are also very committed to a particular cause that's very dear to you, and it's got to do with autism.
Well, yes, because both my sons are autistic. Yes, they're low on the scale, but still they're autistic. Okay. And basically, obviously, after 5 years, because the older one is 7, the younger one is 5, we have a journey. And obviously, I have a story to tell. And, obviously, it obviously starts with how do you know that your son is autistic?
Exactly. One of the questions is, what is the procedure and how do you diagnostic that you have a problem over here?
So, obviously, when they're born, you have to be very attentive with your children. I'm sure most parents are. However, there's little signs where sometimes a child starts to regress. And what I mean by that is they don't look at you in your eyes anymore. Let's say they were playing soccer and all of a sudden they don't do that anymore.
Correct.
Let's say they were saying mama, papa, and all of a sudden they don't say it anymore. Well, those are early signs that maybe there's a problem. Okay, and it could be amongst other things, but generally those are, the ones that most kids have. The recommendation I would have, don't live in denial. Because most parents, and I'm pretty sure I felt the same thing. And believe me, there's nothing wrong, with you, or don't put yourself in question.
Right.
Don't put your wife in question. Don't put anything in question. You're just going to try and help your child. Put that in your mind. I'm here to help my child.
Okay.
That's it. So if you see signs that there's something wrong, and if you don't have the money to get professional help on the private sector, put them on the list. Call your CLSC, call your pediatrician, and have them put them on the list immediately.
So, if I understand correctly, the first indicators that you see things that are not going according to plan, do not live in denial, take action.
Take action right away.
Right away, okay.
And the reason why I say that, like I said, if you put them on the list in the public sector, it takes about 2 years before they call you back.
Okay.
Now that diagnostic, what is that going to do for you? Okay. When they have to be integrated into schools, the diagnostic helps the principals basically get the funding necessary to help your children. If you do not have the diagnostic, they can't do anything for you.
This is very important because people, I guess, are they aware of this particular?
No.
So, to everybody out there that wants some information that could be helpful, can you repeat, because I think it's very important, can you repeat what you just said? At the school level, you're saying to go see the principal?
If you have the diagnostic from the psychologist,
right?
With that, the principal will be able to get the school commission and the government to get the proper funding, because the kids, they can get shadows for 2 hours a day. They can get all sorts of other things for the child.
Okay.
But based on that diagnostic. But if they don't have a diagnostic, the principal can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
And most of the time, the children, they're like, washed up at sea. They don't know what to do with these children.
Okay.
And then you're almost obliged to go to the private schools, and even at that, it becomes a challenge on how to deal with the child and stuff
Okay.
like that, where to integrate them.
Okay. Now, that would be the first step.
That's right.
Diagnostics, once it's brought to your attention and you realize there's something wrong, then don't live in denial, take action.
Definitely.
Okay. The other question, okay, we were discussing this before, and as far as the education system.
Well, you see, this is why, obviously, with my company, which I'm putting everything forward as far as the power of my company to basically raise the awareness on autism, because we live it personally, me and my wife. Okay, we have to shake the government up.
Correct.
Because the principals, all the staff that work in the education systems, never had the proper training to deal with the influx of the autistic children, because only 15, 20 years ago, there was 1 in 10,000.
Okay.
Today, we're up to 1 in 58. Okay. Now, I can tell you a personal experience from last week. Okay. We had a parent-teacher evening. Every time we have a parent-teacher evening, my wife and I, for about a week, we don't sleep at night. Because that's all, we always expect the worst.
Takes a lot of resources, energy, mentally. Yeah.
Because, we always expect, your child, this is not his place. We always expect the negative.
Correct.
Okay. However, we went into that parent-teacher, and my wife and I walked out of that meeting. We were walking on air because everything is going positive.
Correct.
However, during that meeting, I asked the teacher, I said, and she's an older teacher. I mean, she's in her 50s.
Okay.
So I asked her, I said, how many children do you have in your class with special needs, autism, hyperactivity? And she says, I have 4 out of the 21 students that she has in class. And she was brilliant the way she separated out her children. She has 4 teams of 4. Now, she separated, the one that was more autonomous,
Correct.
and she's those people were taking care of the autistic children and stuff like that. So she has a very good dynamic in her class. Okay. Then I went to ask her, and I said, were you ever trained for this? She says, not a chance. I said, turn back the clock 25 years ago when you started your career. Did you have any of this in your class? Nothing. And then I asked her, how long has it been this, dynamic that's happening right now? She says, it's about 5-6 years now, that every year the demand is more
Correct.
and more on us.
Okay.
And I said, she says, well, I have a big heart. My students are like my children, so I do everything I can. But not everybody's like her.
Correct.
Then you get an example, which on 98.5, Paul Arcand show.
Yes.
The other morning driving to work, there was a teacher in secondary 2. After 25 years of career, she decided to quit. And one of the reasons why she decided to quit, she says, I don't know how to deal with this.
Okay.
Kids that are not diagnosed end up in high school. And she says the classroom is a complete mess. So in other words, the education system is being taxed and not properly funded and not properly dealt with a new phenomenon that's happening that just didn't exist. We're not talking hundreds of years ago, just 20 years ago. Okay, so this is why I want to shake up the government with what we need to say.
Just put your mic a little closer. There you go. That's it. Go ahead.
The government needs to wake up to this new reality.
Correct.
Because we cannot abandon a generation of children.
Absolutely.
And pretty much right now.
Would you say, Gaetano, though, that you just mentioned something important, because we've got to get to the core of this. My question to you would be, if the education system is not qualified per se,
that's right.
Is there any mechanism, is there anything that parents, or a mechanism or something that can actually go to the government and say, listen, we got to try to address this issue at this particular, because that's where it all starts from.
Well, you see, I guess
because they got to go to school. They got to go. You understand?
I guess these grassroots movements that are stepping up with Carmelo and his Italiani de Montreal and
Right.
Amici, which basically is doing these fundraisers. I guess the first step is the awareness.
That's right.
I guess I see the movement starting to take really
Some momentum.
Now, how is the government going to respond to this? That's the million-dollar question. I don't know if I have an answer for you.
How about, for example, if we were to get some political figures involved? Because it's got to start somewhere at one point. When we get the people all together, number one, and let's say we get political, medical figures, whatever, that maybe to be spokesmen, for example, and try to make some sort of, I would say, to lobby against these type of things or for
yes,
it. You know what I mean?
Let's say at our bowling party next year, we're having a big gala
Yes,
for the autism.
that's right.
Obviously, I guess you're right. Maybe we should start telling them, guys, come over to the gala, hear what we have to say, start listening to us.
Correct.
And maybe the message is going to be relayed to the decision makers.
Now, do you have a group of parents or peoples that have this particular issue, such as yourself, where you've created some sort of support system?
We haven't done it yet, but yes.
Because I think I'll tell you, and again, we what we'll do is, because not to give too much information all at once, because it's very difficult to absorb. But what we could do is, in different segments, we could try with this platform. It'd be a pleasure to be involved, where you can get maybe. And to all the viewers out there, if there are any parents that have this particular issue that Gaetano and his wife have, or if you have any kids with this related disorder of autism, brothers,
kids, nieces,
you can reach out to Gaetano, and it would be a pleasure. I'm sure where we could start creating some sort of a support group, okay, not first and foremost, and see if maybe we can, unite a certain type of energy all together, and from there, hopefully, you got to start somewhere. You start off at an inch at a time. You know what I mean?
Well, Charles, like you see, for me, this whole project is still in its infancy stage.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I went through my early stages with my kids. We got the diagnosis, we integrated them into the schools and stuff like that. So for me, it's been about 6 months, a year.
Yes.
So am I at that? I'd love to be at that stage, and I know I'm striving to develop
get there.
what you're, and obviously I thank you very much for all the support and all the platform.
It's a pleasure to have you. I think first and foremost, I want to mention something to her. I had no idea about autism, how it starts, how it works out, and all the implications that are involved. And with Mr. Gaetano, and we met his wife, of course. I was reading a few pointers, and I have to tell you, it's a very it's a concerning issue. There's no question about it, obviously. And I myself, being totally ignorant to it, you have already brought up
Charles,
certain topics, which
we all played football, we played soccer,
right.
And we've seen a friend, or it happened to ourselves. We broke a leg. What do you do? You break a leg, you go to the hospital,
right.
You get your leg in a cast.
Right.
When this was happening to my children, I had no idea. You don't even know where to start.
Correct.
And that's why what you're saying as far as a focus group, that, a parent has a question.
Okay.
If I have an answer, I'll be more than glad.
Well, to all the viewers out there, and this obviously is going to be highlighted, and we're going to get the interview out there, I would like to extend everybody's interaction. You have Gaetano. If you have any questions that you would like to ask him, you can easily, once we send the highlights out there, you can engage him through social media. And we could start a focus group, support group right here.
Well,
and
they can send the thing on the Mode de Vie website.
Mode de Vie website,
and
correct.
Mode de Vie Facebook.
Okay. That's you want to use that platform, right?
That's right, exactly.
Okay.
Or they can go on. I'm on LinkedIn under Gaetano Orsina.
Okay, so they can get in touch with you through LinkedIn, the Mode de Vie website, which is his company,
That's
correct?
right. Exactly.
And you're going to post this video is going to be posted on your website as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So once again, this is the first interview of many interviews to come because this is a big spectrum to cover. We're going to take it step by step because there's only so much time we have, of course. But already, he's been on other talk shows. He's been here before. So we want to get it out there. And to all the viewers out there, if you have any questions, once more, the Mode de Vie website, LinkedIn, Gaetano Orsina.
That's right.
You have the name right there.
That's right.
And if you want to inbox us and we could redirect your questions to Gaetano, it would be a pleasure, of course. So everybody out there, if you have any questions and you would like to maybe start a grassroots movement right here tonight for a support group for this particular cause, please, we will support you all the way, Gaetano. It would be a pleasure. As far as yourself and Mr. Tortolano, we're all in with you guys. How's that?
We really, really appreciate it.
I thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gaetano Orsina, and he will be back, and we're going to discuss other points, other issues as far as this particular cause. And at the same time, maybe we'll extend and reach out to Madame, who's in the audience tonight, and we would love to have husband and wife over here for the interview.
It would be great.
Gaetano, thank you very much, and we'll have you back.
Thank you, Charles.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, and we'll be back